Hello guys and welcome, Soren here, and today I wanted to make a tier list of version 3.0 and explain to you guys. I really want to make three things clear before starting. Firstly, this is my opinion and my understanding of the game. You don't have to agree with everything, and my goal is just to convince you with rational arguments. Secondly, I'll take into account the weapon popularity and viableness in all four ranked modes. That implies that a weapon being top tier in spot zones might not be at X or S plus rank because it isn't viable in all three modes. Thirdly, this tier list doesn't take into account sword ranked because it's absolutely not relevant in my opinion. So before jumping into the weapon tier list, I want to give you guys my definition about what makes a weapon strong. The kit, and more specifically a special weapon, is the most important part. A top tier weapon is usually a combination of a good main weapon that has synergy with the sub weapon and a tier S or S plus special. The 7 special must also make sense regarding the role that is played in game. So for example, Clash Blaster isn't so strong even if it has Stingray because it's a short range weapon and Stingray shines for a longer range weapon. If you don't know what the roles are for spot zones, I recommend you watch my last video about spot zone strategy guide. Currently, here is my ranking of the different specials. S plus specials are good to have in all modes, S are good in 1 to 3 modes, and B and C are very bad specials in all modes. So let's keep this in mind because they influence the tier list the most. Another thing I want to mention before jumping in is that you won't see any Tenta-Missiles weapon above tier B because Tenta-Missiles really ruin every single weapon that has its special. Alright, let's get into it. So I won't spend too much time explaining why tier C and tier B weapons are bad because just looking at their kit or the main weapon is usually enough. Also, each weapons are sorted by weapon class and there are no ranking inside the tiers. I'll use C tier for the very worst weapons SPLATOON can offer and B tier for the good weapons that are part of the trash. In C tier they have a bad main, a bad sub, a bad special most of the time and no synergy between them. The usual characteristics of bad main are that it doesn't have much range, much painting power, or a good time to kill. The two worst weapons in the game are probably Splushmatic and Undercover Bra in my opinion, with insanely bad main weapon. First one has beacons and Tenta-Missiles, and the other one has Ink Mine and Splashdown. I think it's pretty obvious why they are bad at this point. Now jumping onto B tier, it's basically the good of the trash. There are usually two things bad out of the main weapon, the sub weapon, and the special weapon. All of them need a buff to reach A or S rank potentially, and each of these weapons have one or more big failures, such as the RNG for the Gauss, so basically 52, 96, 96 deco. And for example, as well, we can have the Tenta-Umbrella mobility being very bad. Up next is the tier A, also known as the viable tier for my criteria. These weapons can be good in the right hands, but very often not. S tier and above do same things better with less effort. I also regroup niched weapons that don't see much play outside of the map where they're strong, such as 52 deco for Port Micro, Gluga deco for Camp Triggerfish, Hydra for Schellendorf, or Squitter for Aruanamo. Each of these weapons lacks something stronger, be it main weapon, sub or special, to be a consistently good choice. I still hesitated to put False Squeezer in S because of its potential, and I think for this time will tell us. Also, Machine being a strong choice in tower control only isn't good enough as other Stingray weapons can do as well or better. One choice that could feel surprising are Tetra Dualies. I feel it can have potential for certain maps and despite a very bad kit, the main weapon is interesting, so I chose to put it into tier A instead of tier B. Time for tier S now, and before starting the analysis of this tier, I want to mention there are only 6 weapons that are higher and all the weapons are solid choices for at least 2 modes. Slasher Deco is in top 3 strongest options for Spot Zones and Clown Blades, but it's very weak in Tower Control and Rainmaker. Charger will suffer the same here. I see a strong choice for Spot Zone and Tower Control, but probably the worst pick in Clown Blades. Both Vanilla and Fire Fin Spot Chargers work well together and scope and scope choice comes from map design most of the time. I still want to mention you need a very high individual level to make this weapon work. Up next are Dapple Dualies. Both of the two versions are solid in all modes with Dapple Nuvo being more played. Although Red Dapples are very often a strong choice for Rainmaker on maps like Schellendorf or Mori Towers. Emperor Dualies are probably the weakest main weapon of this tier, but the kit makes it one of the best and fastest inkjet weapon in the game. Furthermore in this tier, we'll also find strong Slayer choices such as Splash Roller, Tri-Slasher, Splash Shot, and Blaster. As you can imagine, there are 2 better slaying options in my opinion in their tiers. What makes these versions less good is the splashdown for splash shot, roller, and blaster. It is one of the worst, especially in competitive, as a top player hardly ever misses the occasion to kill splashdown in midair. For Tri-Slosher, it's a strong weapon on most SPLATOON maps, and it is good in Rainmaker. Although it is very limited by its range, and NZAP is often a stronger option on bigger maps and tower control if you want a faster ink armor. It is still a must pick on maps like Blackbelly Skate Park, Moray Towers, or Starfish Main Stage. Regarding heavy deco, we can see Stingray nerf makes it a stronger choice for some SPLATOON maps, and it is still one of the best weapons in Canvas. About Vanilla Rapid Blaster and Range Blaster, they are both strong, but Rapid suffers ink mind compared to its other two substitutes, and Range Blaster suffers the existence of Rapid Pro. So speaking about Rapid substitutes, let's get into S+. So S+ is usually stronger than S because viable in all modes and being very impactful in these. Let me talk about each weapon one by one. First and foremost, the Tantek. It is the second strongest overall slaying weapon for all modes. It isn't so popular in SPLATOONs, but it's very solid in Tower Control, Rainmaker, and Clamblitz. The main weapon has all the strengths you need with good painting, range, and time to kill. The kit is also very fitting with Splat Bomb and Inkjet. Now Rapid is one of the strongest main weapons in the game, no matter the kit, thanks to its damage, fire rate, and huge AoE hitbox. For these reasons, it's no surprise that a Rapid with an Inkjet is that high in my tier list. The only downside of the weapon is the suction bomb that isn't so much of an impactful sub-weapon, but is still useful because it paints the map and gets you a faster Inkjet. Heavy Splatling and Custom Jet Squasher are the two strongest Backliner and Stingray weapons. Both have pros and cons, but switching each between maps and modes is usually the way to go. Heavy Splatling has a good painting and insane time to kill with the charge. Jet, on the other end, doesn't have the same painting advantage or time to kill, but Burst Bomb is the perfect fit for a weapon to support your team and assist kills. So to end this tier list analysis, let's get into Rank X. Now these two weapons are in my opinion the two best and are fairly above S+ regarding their impact on the games. The first thing we can know is that you can one-trick these weapons for all map modes without a problem. Rapid Deco or Rapid Blaster can be stronger options for some maps and you want to play without Rapid for maps like Port Mackerel, but that's a general idea. What makes Rapid Pro so sick is the Toxic Mist. In competitive, with team coordination and placement, it is probably the strongest sub-weapon in the game since Sprinkler and Curling Bomb nerf in version 3.0. It may have the same kit as Dapple Duelist Nouveau, but with a much better main weapon. It is important to note that the reason why this weapon is so high is Toxic Mist being on no other weapon that can fill this role as well. It's not only because Toxic Mist is strong, it's also because no backliner has Toxic Mist, and the only Slayer that has Toxic Mist is the Blaster, and it got nerfed heavily in version 3.0. Regarding Dapple Duelist Nouveau, you usually want to play other weapons such as Slosher Decor or another slaying weapon. Because of this, Rapid Pro is the best Toxic Mist weapon and it is the main reason of it being in the top 2 weapons of my list. The second X-tier weapon is Custom Blaster. It is a perfect main weapon for slaying purpose, having a very fast and consistent killing power. It also has an Inkjet, which is also the best slaying special currently, and is super effective to snowball and space out the enemy team even if you don't get the kills with it. The only downside of this is the Autobomb, which isn't that much of a strong sub-weapon, but still works fairly well with Custom Blaster, paints fast enough to get Inkjet, you know? And that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video that is quite subjective. I really worked on the visuals to make it a clean tier list, so if you have any question or something isn't clear, tell me in the comments below. Just don't get into the comments to tell me 10 Time Missiles is a top tier special. And as always, remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you later.